Welcome back to another episode of Breath of the Wild, Tales Untold. Today we will be covering the second memory in Breath of the Wild. This series is all about breaking down every single memory in that game and talking about what it means, the story implications, and things you may not have thought about when you first played this game. Today we're talking a lot about my man Revali. Revali is quite the champion. He is a very interesting character that we have to analyze today, and there's a lot going into it, especially with his diary, which has a lot of details that I cannot wait to get into. So, without further ado, let's start breaking down this memory. Okay, before he even starts saying a word, there's already so much about this that is just screaming Revali. First of all, the divine beast flying overhead right above Revali's landing, which is what they ended up naming this platform after him after he died. But then his divine beast is flying above in the perfect angle just to make everything look so flashy, to make everything look like he is on top of the world, like he is unbeatable. He has this Lamborghini that he is showing off to Link right now. And not only that, he's not even in it. It's just flying above and Link is like, okay. And then all of a sudden from underneath the platform, Revali uses his Gale to come up and boom, he appears right on top. He's just showing off. He's literally being a showboat. There are two things about this part that just really cracked me up because not only have we not even analyzed any of what he said yet, but first of all, we need to talk about where the heck he flew up from. So in the game, I wanted to see exactly where it was that he was coming up from. Where was it that he decided to hide and wait until Meadow came across and then he was like, now the perfect moment to use my Gale and rise up and land right in front of Link just to show off right in front of his face in the actual game itself, because he gives us Revali's Gale, so we know exactly how high it can go. We know this is the clip I'm showing you right now. This is this weird spot right here where there's absolutely nothing going on. There's nothing there. There's no reason for him to be standing there or waiting there or doing anything other than him just waiting specifically to show off in front of Link. And not only that, but the developers, I don't even know if this was intentional. It had to be, but this Gale, it actually perfectly reaches from right where I sat right to Revali's landing. Right where he sits is exactly where Link ends up after using the Gale himself. This was planned from the start. Revali is just hilarious. And yes, he's a jerk, but we'll talk a little bit more about why he's actually acting like this. And that's just a hilarious detail. And the second part about this that actually proves that I'm not just making all this up and that it's actually true to his character and true to what he actually thought was if we look at his diary. The princess came to the village on an official business along with her shadow, that insufferable knight. I tried to talk to him while the princess met with the elder, but he was his usual quiet self. Why do people like him so? I also gave him the privilege of seeing me perform Revali's Gale. Nothing. No reaction at all to my impressive feat. I showed it to him even knowing there was a chance of failure since it's still so new. He must truly be slow-witted. I tried to provoke him into facing me, but to no avail. It's like talking to a stone. Our interactions were a waste of time, so I flew off to find solace with Meadow. What's wrong with that guy? So from the very start, he knew that Zelda was coming. He knew that Zelda was going to speak with the elder, and he's sitting there and he's like, I bet you Link is just gonna sit and wait somewhere else in the village. Oh, look at that. He's right at the landing. Well, how about this? How about I put Meadow right in front of his face, show him a divine beast, something that he doesn't get. He doesn't get a beast, he gets a sword. A little tiny baby sword. And I'm gonna use my Gale, something that no other champion has, a really amazing flying ability that makes me go up in the air and look really cool. And I'm gonna land right in front of his face, right at the very tippity top of my Gale, and land directly onto this railing, just to say this.
Impressive, I know. Very few can achieve a mastery of the sky. Yet I have made an art of creating an updraft that allows me to soar. It's considered to be quite the masterpiece of aerial techniques, even among the Rito.
He's already bragging. He is already bragging. The first thing he says to this man is, look at me. I'm great. This is what I can do. No one else can do this. And he wanted to make sure that Link knew. Because maybe Link as a Hylian, Revali's probably thinking like, oh man, he probably doesn't know that maybe not every single one of us can do this, because obviously he knows we can all fly. So like to him, this is very unimpressive perhaps. Maybe that's why he's not giving me any reaction. Well, let me tell him exactly why I am the GOAT, why I can do what no other Rito can do, and why he should be astounded by my very presence. And he flexes on him. He's actually giving us a flex.
With proper utilization of my superior skills, I see no reason why we couldn't easily dispense with Ganon.
This part is really especially interesting to me just because Revali is such a showboat, right? He believes that he is the best. He wants to be the one to take down Ganon himself. And so he's bringing the conversation to Ganon. He's like, oh, with me? Like, it's gonna be easy. Like, this dude is gonna die before I even get a chance to fight him, because he's gonna look at me and say, oh, wow, that's Revali. I'm out. And this is his mindset. He believes that he should be the one to deliver the final blow. But of course, we know that's not how it works. Link is the guy to do that. Like all of these prophecies have said for a long time, Zelda, with her sealing power, will seal the monster away with her magic, and then Link, with his sword that seals the darkness, will be able to damage it enough to get her to be able to do that. And the champion's roles are completely different than that. I think Revali, at heart, knows this. He knows that although he is the pride of the Rito, everyone loves him, he is the greatest of all time, he is going to be in his divine beast at a distance, using that mechanical wonder to take down as many foes as he can and weaken Calamity Ganon. That is his purpose, and I think he genuinely knows. Especially after he was told all of this, like he definitely knows that this is not where he's going to end up. He's not going to be the one to slay Ganon, but he wants to talk about it in front of Link because his goal is to get him to do anything, to react at all, to say a single word to him, and he fails. And failure is not something Revali is used to experiencing. And he definitely knows what the plan is, because here is an earlier part of his diary, a little excerpt of what he had to say about it. Hyrule's princess stopped dawdling and asked me to pilot the divine beast. I asked what our plan is. I wish I hadn't. It is completely absurd. The divine beasts are little more than backup for some Hylian knight who has the honor of fighting Calamity Ganon. Me, a sidekick. I thought of declining, but then she looked me dead in the eye and held my gaze as she said, we must protect the precious life of this land from the Calamity's grasp at all costs. Hyrule needs you, Revali. It was so corny, I almost died, but I won't soon forget the look in her eyes. She meant it with all of her heart. I thought Hylians only thought of themselves, but I suppose there's an exception to every rule. I'm going to accept, of course, but out of self-respect, I'm going to let her sweat it out a little bit longer. So he thinks this whole thing is ridiculous because he believes that he should be the one to land the final blow. We know that from all of the excerpts that we've read here and just from his personality as a whole. That is such an interesting insight though on Hylians and what his perspective of them are. He already is a huge narcissist, right? He believes the Rito race probably to be superior to every other and himself to be even above them. He's probably racist towards the Rito simply for not even being close to his level. But at the same time, he craves and desires affirmation and attention so badly. He wants it as much as he needs to breathe. Like, he desires it. Why else would he have Meadow fly above Link to show off his divine beast, to show off this huge thing that is bigger than Rito Village itself? Why else would he use his own Gale to get even a hopeful reaction, even a glimmer of hint of anything out of Link, he hopes, with his Gale? He tries so hard to do anything, and it doesn't work. And so here we're going to see the rest of this memory and figure out what it is he's actually going through his head and what he's trying to accomplish.
Now then, my ability to explore the firmament is certainly of note. But let's not, pardon me for being so blunt, let's not forget the fact that I am the most skilled archer of all the Rito. Yet despite these truths, it seems that I've been tapped to merely assist you. All because you happen to have that little darkness-sealing sword on your back. I mean, it's just asinine. Unless you think you can prove me wrong, maybe we should just settle this one-on-one. But where? Oh, I know. How about up there? Oh, you must pardon me. I forgot you have no way of making it up to that divine beast on your own. Good luck sealing the darkness!
So, of course, like we just said, look, everything we broke down about his backstory, everything that he's thinking about is very much true with everything he told Link there. He's like, wow, this is stupid. You are the one who's doing this? I can't believe it. So he's trying to flex on Link, show him maybe why he's better, and maybe try to get Link to be like, oh, Zelda, Revali, he's just too great. I mean, we're just going to have to let him take my spot because no one else could do it but him. And of course, that doesn't work. Link is not going to step down from his sacred duties that he has been shouldering his entire life to the point of literal exhaustion, to the point of him not even being able to express himself at all, which is the purpose of him being silent in this game, by the way. He feels that duty so heavily. He has worked so hard and so long as a child. He bested adult soldiers because he was groomed for this role, and he knew his whole life he had to fulfill it. And so even though he trained and met that threshold, he did everything he was supposed to do, he knew that it would just be better if he stayed silent. He thought to himself, if I speak, if I try to express myself, some people may not like it, so he stays completely and totally silent. Revali, of course, doesn't know this. Revali doesn't care. Revali doesn't think for a second about anyone but himself. And so after all that, right, he's thinking to himself, oh, this is definitely going to work. Not only am I going to get him to see how impressive I am, how much better I am than him, how much he needs to bow before me and just beg Zelda to have me be the centerpiece of this whole plan. By the time none of that works, he gets desperate. So what does he do? Fight me, you, come on, I want to fight you. And so he's just like, it's like a childish reaction because he is genuinely very young for a Rito. But even then, right, he does want to fight him. I'm sure in his heart of hearts, he wants to take him on and take him down. But what he would rather do is humiliate him however he can. So what does he do? Let's fight on Meadow, right? Let me go back up to Meadow and fight him there. Well, you can't get there, can you? Oh, you're just a little Hylian. You don't got no wings. And so later on, it's a really funny moment that's kind of full circle after feeling and seeing and hearing all of this backstory. Once we get to the Divine Beast and we defeat the calamity that killed Revali 100 years ago, we talk to Revali and Revali's like, well, I guess you did make it up here on your own, didn't you? And I guess he doesn't know that Teba obviously flew us up, but at the same time, it was just a really wholesome moment for us to see full circle what Revali's personality is like, how he was probably humbled at least a little bit after being defeated by the Windblight Calamity, and then seeing Link defeat the very monster that killed him 100 years ago. It was interesting also because in the diary excerpt I read earlier, he was talking about taking solace with Meadow, and he already has somewhat of an interesting connection with Meadow, as we can see in an earlier excerpt of his diary. There is a persistent rumor in town that Calamity Ganon's resurrection is imminent. It can't be true, right? A few years ago, scientists dug up an ancient mechanical beast called Meadow. It was supposedly used to fight Ganon. Hyrule's royal family is in search of someone to pilot the beast. They say to do so requires something beyond skill. They say one's soul must contain an incredible sacred power for a divine beast to recognize them as master. They should have just asked for me by name. To control the divine beast and defeat the calamity would finally allow me to prove myself to the world. He wants to be recognized. He's a narcissist at heart. He believes he's the best, but at the same time, he wants to be affirmed in every single thing. That is the champion Revali. I won another archery competition today. As one would expect, the village can't stop talking about my winning streak. In short order, I've managed to break all of the previous records and set an insurmountably high bar. Everywhere I go, I receive praise and affirmations that I am the pride of the Rito. I could get used to this. The elder asked me what I would like as a prize for my achievements. I told him I wished for an archery training ground. If I am to keep this up, I need somewhere to train at varying elevations. I'm hoping to master a new move I've dreamt of. I keep pushing my archery skills to the limit. My dive is ideal, but the ensuing ascent is not as smooth as I wish it was. I must return to the flight range again tomorrow. There I will become stronger, better. I won't rest until I succeed. The Rito children look up to me. I hear they wish to start a training at the flight range too. Perhaps it's not a bad idea to allow everyone to use my training space. These are dangerous times after all. Tomorrow, I will try a new strategy I've been devising to control the updraft. I refuse to believe it's impossible. So of course, that is just him saying exactly what I already ascertained from everything else he's ever done and said. He wants attention, and not only does he want it, it's kind of been pushed onto him. He's experiencing this pressure in a way that is completely and totally different than Link and Zelda. He's being praised every step of the way. All the Rito believe him to be almost a godlike figure among them, and they praise him every single day. The elder of the village himself is like, "You are so great, what can we do for you?" And they give him an entire training ground, obviously where we end up meeting Teba, and in the later games his son. That whole area was constructed specifically for Revali to train, and that's where Teba ends up training and taking us up to the Divine Beast. But this is just a really cool insight into how the pressure was actually able to mount in his brain, and he is computing it in a different way than Link and Zelda. He's not hiding, he's actually doing the exact opposite. Rather than being completely silent like Link, he is totally out there. He is flamboyant to the max. He wants everyone to know who he is, and he wants everyone to give him praise for it. And similarly to Zelda, who cannot seem to master her power, he is also struggling with Revali's Gale at first, and we see that in a different cutscene that we will probably cover at the very end of this series. Revali himself, what an interesting character. He is sitting there doing his best, trying to master everything he can and be the pride of the Rito. He wants that so bad, but he also wants to live up to their expectations, and at the end of the day, he doesn't want anyone to die, right? He doesn't want the calamity to ensue. And as I theorized earlier, we see once again in his diary, it is absolutely true. This is what he was thinking. Hyrule's princess is coming by to ask for my answer tomorrow. She will surely be overcome with joy when I accept. And her timing is exceptional. I am close. So close to mastering my new move and showing everyone what I'm capable of. When they see it, they'll know without a doubt it should be me fighting Ganon instead of that pathetic knight. I can see it now. The king and princess and the knight all on their knees begging me to defeat Ganon for them. They'll say, "Please, Master Revali, please use your otherworldly skills and intellect to defeat Calamity Ganon." I look forward to that day. I totally forgot about that part too. The king himself, he wants the king of Hyrule to get on his knees. This is not even close to a feasible reality that could happen, but in Revali's mind, he is so great that the king himself, that the king's daughter, and the knight who is said to be the strongest of all would all come before him and kneel, begging him to do what they already think they can do. Defeat Ganon. Just to get a little bit more of his background and mindset, let's finish out the last two paragraphs that I have not covered. I journeyed to Hyrule Castle for an inauguration ceremony. I now bear the grand title of champion. Meaningless pomp, if you ask me. If true strength relied only on title and uniform, everyone would be a champion. I do like the blue scarf though. That annoyingly silent knight was as emotionless as usual. I can never tell what's on his mind. Likely, nothing at all. Somehow, I can't help but believe the stories about him beating adult knights in swordplay when he was only a child. Still, he doesn't stand a chance against me. There is no one alive who can keep up with my aerial combat. That reminds me, it's about time I came up with a fitting name for that new move I created. What kind of name would be worthy? Revali's something. Tornado, whirlwind, masterpiece. So of course, he thinks that Link has nothing in his head. He doesn't think at all about the trauma he could have gone through, why he is literally emotionally scarred to the point of being mute. He thinks, he's just nothing. But at the same time, he does sense that strength. He believes that Link did best those adult knights as only a child. He believes that there is something there, but he just doesn't know why or what's going on. He doesn't think about anything other than himself, kind of confirms exactly what we were talking about earlier. And to end the tragedy that is Revali for his very specific cutscene in this game, let's read the final excerpt of his diary, the very last thing he wrote before he died. Daruk informed me that we have been asked to escort the princess to Lanayru. We're to see the princess off at dawn at the mountain's base and meet her there when she returns at sunset. Must I participate in this nonsense? Though, I still remember that look on the princess's face. When she asked me to pilot the divine beast, she was not only determined, she seemed desperate. She's aware she can't fulfill her sacred duties, and anyone can see how it weighs on her. It's difficult for me to comprehend the troubles of the talentless, but I'm trying. It's not that I dislike the princess. She tries her hardest. It's simply not good enough. No, I don't think I can spare the time to send her off in the morning, but perhaps I will fly over to greet her at sunset. Perhaps that alleged sealing power will show her some mercy and finally awaken this time. And as we know, it didn't. It didn't awaken, it didn't work, and at the moment, the apex of the Calamity's ascension to power, Revali used his Gale to go up and to see the Calamity is here. it's time, and you got to get to your champions, you got to get to your divine beasts, and none of them make it. As powerful as Revali was, as strong as he was, as arrogant as he could be at times, and even as lovable as he was in certain aspects, he died. The same as the other champions, the same as Ganon was able to probably exploit every single weakness that he had with those blights. Every single blight was designed specifically to defeat the specific champion that it had been assigned towards. So he could not have known that. He didn't know that he was heading back to his divine beast, to Meadow, the one place where he felt true solace, to eventually die. He had no clue that his home was going to be his burial. That is what we can ascertain from the second memory in Breath of the Wild, Revali's flap. So thank you so much for making it to the end of the video. Make sure you like and subscribe if you did enjoy. Leave a comment telling me all of your thoughts on Revali down below. Let me know if you like his little blue scarf as much as he likes his blue scarf. Make sure you also click that notification so you do not miss another episode of Tales Untold. Make sure you click on the left side of your screen to see the very first episode of this series. It is very important to watch those in order. And click on the right side of your screen to see my video covering Link in his live action form. Our very first look at him. There was a leak from that movie, so go check out that if you want to know exactly what's going on there. Thanks for making it to the end of the video. Have a phenomenal day. This has been Ray's Nintendo Talk. I have been Ray, and I will see you all in the next video.